Hello there. The other day, a viewer of this channel reported that they were having trouble getting their syllabary to work and that they were using Type 3.2 font software, which I had recommended in a previous video, which they'd purchased. And they were trying to get it to do the Adobe OpenType font scripting so it would recognize a syllable, and it wasn't working. I kind of feel responsible for them paying for the software based on my recommendation. And I know I got it to work doing that stuff, but I haven't used it in a few years. So I thought I would load it up and see if I could figure out how to get it working properly. I decided to use the Kana font that I've been building for another video, the previous video to this one, and just see if I could get the syllables for B_A through to B_U, the 5 vowels, working properly. I'm going to play that video and include it here for generally anybody else who's trying to use 3.2 and has problems. But the original video was intended just as a one-off to solve this person's problem. So if the perspective and the way I'm talking seems odd, it's because it was directed at one individual. Hi there. I read your comment about not getting the fonts to work right in Type 3.2, and I was worried about that because I used Type 3.2 quite happily until I got the opportunity to get FontLab Studio 5 and then upgrade to 7. So I reinstalled Type 3.2. I still have my license for it. And I loaded up the font that I'm currently working on called Kana, which is a syllabary, and tried to get it to work correctly. And I had troubles. I had to go through a number of steps just to get one sequence to work properly. And I was going to type out what I did and then thought I'd just make a quick video and see if I can get you on the right track here and get it working, because I don't want to discover that I recommended Type 3.2 and you paid for it and it doesn't do what you want it to do. And I was sure that I had it working before. So this is Type 3.2 with a version of my Kana font loaded into it. You can see the glyphs are over here. It's a syllabary, and I've discovered some differences between the way FontLab Studio does things and the way Type 3.2 does, and I may be able to offer you a solution here. I certainly got it working for me. I also discovered some limitations of Type 3.2. So in my original font design, I have a bunch of glyphs that represent the syllables that are in the private use area, the PUA. And in FontLab Studio, those are integrated into the font automatically. And I guess they've saved me a step there that you have to take in 3.2. So if you look over here, I have all the glyphs that represent the syllables. They're all down here. And they were unassigned. They were listed as unassigned. And what I had to do was go up here and select private use area and select those glyphs and assign a Unicode value to them. So if I select this one here was the first one listed in the font, and I went down to here and had to map them. And when I clicked, I hope I'm not going to screw this up. When I clicked on map, it prompted me to give them a value. And I started with E000 for Unicode value. That is the start of the private use area. And it assigned them all a number all the way down. Then I had to go through, and you can see it's named them Uni E004 for the BA glyph here. I had to go in and right-click on them and go to PostScript name and name that B_A. And now it's named under B_A. This one here, PostScript name B_E. Saying that's already in use. Why is that already in use? It shouldn't be. Cancel that. I'm trying to recreate it here, and I had it all working, so I hope I'm not going to screw it up. Let us search for B_E as PostScript name in Unicode scripts. Glyph not mapped to any character. So why is it doing that? If I go to glyph index and search for B_E. Oh no, we still want it in PostScript name. And maybe we'll try it on glyph list. And it finds that I already have those there. Okay, so I'm not sure why that is a problem, but I did have to go through and name them all with the PostScript name that I'm going to be using in my OpenType scripting. Then I went to Font, OpenType Features, selected Standard Ligatures, and Insert Selected Features. Highlight that and go to Details. And that brings up the .feax file that defines the scripting for this. I presume you probably all already tried this, but if not, the .feax feature, let me bring this up here. Sorry, this is not a polished stream here. I go to Windows, Program Files, I go to the wrong spot, apparently. We'll go back, Windows, Program 86, go down and find Type 3.2 and OpenType, and you will see there is standard ligatures.feax. This is where Type 3.2 is going to read your ligatures file. Now, what I did was back that up first so that I could restore it if I needed to. And I'll just make sure I didn't store it with the actual font when I was done. Documents, conlangs, Kana, OpenType. No, I did. These are all the different versions I've generated for this. There was another one in there. Nope, not there either. Okay. So this is the FAX file. That's the features for standard ligatures and everything else. And you can see it has language system default, language system Latin default at the top, which the default file did. Then feature liga, sub B tick A tick. By tick, I mean a single quote, by B underscore A. And for each of the other ones that I renamed over here, I just wanted to test one sequence of consonant plus vowel. You might not need the tick, but what it's supposed to mean is the ticked letters are replaced by the glyph that you are linking to here in each of these statements. And then apparently type 3.2 includes the GDEF definition down here. Glyph definition is what I assume it stands for. The GDEF table stuff. FontLab Studio doesn't require you to do that. So I edited theirs. I left base glyphs default. Ligatures, B underscore A, B underscore E, B underscore I, B underscore O, and B underscore U. Those are the only ones over here that I was trying to get this to work with. You would have to include all of your ligatures there. And then it's closed with the GDEF again. So, oh, you can see here, this is me having taken that file, opened it up in Notepad++ and backed it up. And it's showing on the list there, standard ligatures.back. So if I was making another font, I could open that up in Notepad and edit it again. So I just didn't want to lose their original settings. But this is the one that I'm working with, and that is the liga definition right there. So we have defined the liga definitions, the substitutions. We have gone over here and given these postscript names after mapping them. Now you'll see they say unmapped here, and that's what I had to fix. So I'm going to just see if I can map those. Map the first glyph to include. I put in E000. You would want to do this for all your glyphs in the public use area, and click boom. And now they're mapped. Then I went over to File and I saved the GFS data. And then I saved the font as a TTF. And I was having problems with it as a TTF. It was rendering BE, BI, BO, and BU correctly, but it wasn't doing BA. And I wasn't sure why it was doing that. And I screwed around with that for a while, trying to figure out what it might be. I re-edited the FEAX file and things like that. It didn't solve the problem. And I'm not sure why it didn't solve the problem. What did solve the problem was, instead of saving as a TTF, I came here and saved it as an OpenType PostScript font, .OTF, which should work everywhere, Windows, Linux, Mac, etc. It's just a different method of formatting the font. So I did that, and then I installed it on my system. I'm using Windows 11, so I came in here, typed in fonts, and it came up with personalization fonts, and you browse and install the font. So I did that. You can see it down here. If you're screwing around with this and trying to solve it, remember to uninstall the font each time and then reinstall it to make sure it's up to date. Then we don't need that anymore. I went to LibreOffice and created a new document. Cranked the font size way up because one of the things I have to fix with this design is the sizing. It's a little out to lunch. So this is 128 point right here, so I could see it clearly. And selected Kana from the list, which will be in alphabetical order, but listed actually using the Kana font too. So now I can type in B. Oh, I got a display issue there too. It's going outside the range. I can type in B, follow it with an A, and it's showing the BA glyph. B, E, B, I, B, O, B, U. It's not working with any of the other syllabary characters that I have defined in this font because I built the font in FontLab Studio and imported it in here and saved it as a version just for this type 3.2 to manipulate. And I then edited those 5 glyphs just to have a proof of concept that it was recognizing things. Now, this is LibreOffice Writer. If you are using Microsoft Word, I believe you have to go into the settings for Word and specifically enable ligatures. And the last time I did that, you had to do it every single document, which is irritating as hell. LibreOffice and OpenOffice, even WordPad, although I'm not sure it still exists, they all displayed ligatures by default, but Microsoft Word did not for whatever reason. However, it's working here. It's also helped me because it's pointed out that the tops of these glyphs are being chopped off, and I need to fix the original design to make sure they display. So that's been useful, and I'm very glad for your question. I hope this will give you a solution to solving the problem. So load up your font. Make sure that the glyphs that you've defined in the private use area are assigned a code, and I would do the same thing. I would start with E000. So that's the start of the private use area in Unicode, and map all of your added glyphs that you've created in there. Then go through and rename each of them so that they have the appropriate names. These ones here don't. You can see like the regular letters. That's the glyph for N right there. That's capital B. That's the @ symbol, which I don't have. This is capital E, capital D. Make sure that all the ones that don't have the PostScript name that you want have the PostScript name. So you've mapped it, you've done that. Then you can go in to Font and come down to Open Type Features, select the standard ligatures, and click Details, and you should see what ligatures you have. Then you open up another text editor and go and edit that file. And you can see the location of those files by clicking View Files here, and it'll give you the path so you know which file to enter. And the one you're going to want to enter is standardligatures.feax. Now, I never asked if you were on a Mac or a PC. All of this is obviously on a PC. It'll be a similar process on the Mac, but I don't have a Mac handy where I can test it. So I'm sorry about that. But that should let you add the standard ligatures in. Then you go to File. You save the GFS data to a file. Then you save the font and make sure you save it as OTF. Then if you had a previous version of the font installed, you uninstall it in your operating system and reinstall the new version from the OTF file that you just created, and then go into a word processor and try testing it. It's worth noting, and I was surprised at this, that the preview function in Type 3.2 does not show the ligatures, and I haven't figured out a way to have it do it. So I have to assume that they added that in there, but they didn't think it was all that important, or that I'm doing something wrong and I've missed something. But that should cover getting it working. Certainly, I would like to hear the results and see if that gets it working for you. So I hope that helps. I hope it's not too confusing and not too rapid fire. I will post this video on my YouTube channel and link it to you in the YouTube comments so that you can watch it. And hopefully that helps you. I think I'm going to have to do a video down the road just on using Type 3.2 to build all the stuff that I'm building. I went to FontLab because it was a better tool for doing this stuff, but this is a more affordable tool for the average person. So I'm going to have to consider making a video on that and how to use this to build stuff and relearn it myself. Thank you very much. Hope that solves it. Please let me know what happens. Thanks. Bye.